Dear students, good morning all. Today you are with the new topic, that is aquaculture, which comes under the paper 5.2 Applied Zoology, Histology and Biotechnique. And this aquaculture comes under applied zoology or economic zoology. So, aquaculture, it is also called as aqua farming. So, if you split the aquaculture into two words, that is aqua, water, and culture, to grow. So, when you see the definition of aquaculture, so it not only includes farming of fishes, but also it includes all the aquatic organisms like shellfishes, ornamental fishes, and other aquatic plants in the controlled conditions. So it is practiced from more than 2500 years in China, Egypt and India. 10% of world total fish harvest is derived from aquaculture. You may heard about Blue Revolution. So it is the time of intense growth of aquaculture industry from 1960s to the present day. And India is one of the fast grower in this aquaculture farming. So total it's growing very fast and it is increasing by 9% by a year. So there are two important research institute in India, that is Central Inland Fishery Research Institute located in West Bengal, Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute which is located in Cochin. What is the need of aquaculture? So you already know that India is a developing country and the population it is exploding. And to meet all these population boom and there is a limited food resource. So most people live in coastal areas of sea and near river, lakes and reservoirs. Cheaper source of protein next to egg. More edible protein, that is 70 to 80% than meat. Fish meal, it is a byproduct of fishery which consisting of 10 essential amino acid. And the fishes, they have a high fecundity and growth rate, and ornamental fish, and they are also medicinal values. So when you come for the objectives of aquaculture, so the production of protein rich, nutritive, palatable, that means tasty, and easily digestible human food which benefits the whole society through plenty food supplies at low or reasonable cost. This is a very important objective of aquaculture. Along with all this, providing new species and strengthening the stock of existing fish in natural as well as man-made water bodies through artificial recruitment and transplantation. Production of ornamental fish for aesthetic appeal. Recycling of organic waste of human and livestock origin. Land and aquatic resource utilization, that means increasing the standard of living by maximizing profitability and creation of production surplus for export. Providing means of earning livelihood and monetary benefit through commercial and industrial aquaculture. Production of industrial fish, that means activity of catching fish and other sea fish for commercial profit from the wild fisheries. Production of bait fish for commercial and also for sport fishing. Next, coming to the types of cultivable fishes. There are three important major cultivable fishes, that is indigenous or native freshwater fishes. Example major carps, that is Indian major carps. Saltwater fishes which have been acclimatized for freshwater, that is chanos and mullets. Exotic fishes, that is imported from outside the area or the country. Example Chinese carp, tilapia, etc. So now we'll discuss the criteria for selection of cultivable fishes. So when you are selecting the fishes, they should maintain all these quality before cultivating. Main, that is to obtain maximum yield or to obtain more fish, important criteria. Second one, always the successful fish farming depends on the selection of cultivable species. For profitable fish culture, it is necessary to select such a species of fish which can have or use both natural as well as artificial food to a maximum extent, and it can grow rapidly to a large size. So these should have high growth rate and then can tolerate a sudden change in climatic condition and also nature of water in ponds. They should also live in a pond with other fishes without any disturbances. Ability to live in changing physico-chemical conditions such as temperature, pH, turbidity, carbon dioxide and dissolved oxygen, and they should able to resist against diseases. They should be prolific breeder and they are easier to handle and harvest. These are some of the criteria in selection of cultivable fishes, either in case of that is saltwater fishes, native or exotic species. So in this chapter, you are studying with culturing of different varieties of aquatic forms. So first one in that is culturing of Indian major carps. The Indian major carps have proven to be the best culture fish in India. Indian major carps grow rapidly and attain sexual maturity in the ponds. The carps feeds on zoo and phytoplankton which are available in ponds, decaying weeds, debris and other aquatic plants. Carps can survive under somewhat high temperature or also in turbid water. They can also tolerate oxygen variation in the water. They have fast growth rate, attain good size and weight, and they can be transported from one place to other place easily. Flesh of carps is palatable, that means tasty and much nutritive. So all these characters you can see in Indian major carps, as well as they have the criteria for selection of cultivable fishes, and the Indian major carps will satisfy all the criteria required in the selection of cultivable fishes. Example: Katla Katla, Labiorohita and Mrigal. So here is the picture of Katla Katla, Labiorohita and Sirenus mrigala. So you already known about this, and this Indian major carps contribute at a maximum of 70 to 75% of total freshwater fish production in India. So coming to the next part, that is breeding. So there are two types of breeding, that is natural breeding and induced breeding. Natural breeding, it is also called as bund breeding. So here there are special type of ponds they are prepared, they are called as breeding ponds, and these breeding ponds are near the rivers or natural water resources. Natural breeding or bund breeding. So here this natural breeding which takes place in natural environment, it is called natural fish breeding. Naturally in favorable condition, a hormone of a fish, that is gonadotrophin, that will get mixed with the blood and that will incite the fish for breeding. The breeding period of most of the fish, it is May to August, and winter season is also it is a good season for breeding in a fishes like common carp. So fish breeding depends upon the stream, time, season, weather, monsoon, cloudy sky, and also that is the mild wind. A day with cold water is very suitable for fish breeding and laying eggs. So the suitable temperature of a fish breeding is about 28 to 31 degree, and the main source, that is the rivers. In breeding season, adult male fish swim towards or against the tide, and the female fish swim towards or against the tide, and the male fish follow it, and they mate together in a little tide or flooded area. So after that, the female fish lays egg in the water, and the male fish releases the sperm instantly over the eggs. As a result, the eggs become fertile and minnow come out from the eggs within a few hours. This system is known as natural breeding. Bunt. So bunts are the special types of perennial and seasonal tanks or ponds where riverine conditions are stimulated during monsoon months. So here the bunts, they are categorized into two types, that is perennial bunts, which are commonly known as wet bunt. The name itself has its meaning, and seasonal bunt, or that is what we call it as dry bunt. So here wet bunt and dry bunt. Bunts, they are nothing but they are the seasonal or perennial tanks or ponds. So here look at the difference between two types of bunt, that is wet bunt or perennial bunt, or dry bunt or seasonal bunt. First one, wet bunt. A typical wet bunt is generally located in a gradual slope of catchment area within an inlet towards the highland and an outlet at the opposite side towards the lower end to regulate the inflow and the outflow of water respectively. So nothing but a wet bunt which consisting of inlet for the incoming of the water and outlet for the outflow of the water. So that will be regulated by inlet and the outlet. In the dry bunt, so here in this type of dry bunt, it is only one shallow depression and a catchment area located in a gradual slope. So here it consisting of a gate where exactly quickly draining the water and outlet for the excess water to flow away. So here this dry bunt consisting of a gate for draining the water and the outlet for the excess water to flow away. Second one, so in the wet bunt or wet pond, no storage ponds for the stocking of fishes, hatcheries and observation posts are present. Here dry bunt, it may consisting of storage ponds, hatcheries and observation ports. It is required in case of dry bunt. So the deeper part may contain water during summer and contain major carps. Okay. So in dry bunt, the bunt gets flooded only in the monsoon but remains completely dry for a considerable period during a year. So at that moment when there is no water, the breeder, they are kept at the storage pond. So wet bund, they are difficult to manage, but dry bund, it is easily managed because only they are flooded in the monsoon and remaining days they are completely dry. Wet bund, in one spawning, only one or two crops can be obtained. So here in one spawning only, that means in one spawning only, more than 5 crops can be obtained. So egg collection, it is difficult in case of wet bund, whereas in egg collection it is easy in case of dry bund. So this is the major difference between wet bund and the dry bund. Thank you.